Hey guys, it's John Elder from Egoscue. Obviously today's blog post looks a little bit different because I'm coming to you via video, but I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you guys about an experience I just had. I just got back from London. I was there for a week. We were there for an Egoscue event, and one of the things that struck me was the amount of the lack of obese people who I saw in London versus the amount of obese people that we see often here in the US and Canada. Now, this isn't a video or a commentary on weight loss, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about what I think the correlation is between weight loss and function. I think those two go hand in hand. So what was interesting to me was how many people I saw walking not only throughout London, but then also I spent some time in the English countryside, and it was fascinating and shocking how many people I saw who weren't overtly active. They weren't playing soccer, they weren't going for a jog, they weren't playing golf, they weren't doing anything spectacular, but still they were in good shape. They weren't obese. And I think a lot of it has to do with, by and large, the people of London have a much more active lifestyle than the vast majority of us here in the States. And I don't mean active, again, not in the sense of again, playing soccer or going for a run, but in the sense that, for example, the apartment that we stayed at was a 10-minute walk to the train station. So every day we'd wake up, walk to the train, 10, 12 minutes, and we were active. We were going up and down stairs, we were walking, riding on the train, holding on. It required some stabilization of the deep kind of stabilizing system. You may refer to it as your core. I personally can't stand that word, but a lot of people would say, well, that's a good core workout, is riding the train. But that deep stabilizing system, that deep hip function required for balancing on the train. And then when we'd get off the train, we'd walk down the stairs and we'd walk to the restaurant, or we'd walk to the venue, or wherever it was we were headed. And I think that has everything to do, the amount of activity throughout the day has everything to do with why the folks of London are not obese. But it's not because of caloric burn. I don't think it has anything to do with because they walk, they're burning more calories than me or you. What I absolutely think it has to do is with the amount of walking they do is directly correlated to their overall hip function. And if we stop and look at the hip, we have the ball and socket, the pelvis and the femur that create the hip joint, the circulatory system and the nervous system, and everything that runs through your hip looks like the LA freeway system. Also included in the hip or at the hip is your lymphatic system. We work with clients every day, and a lot of them are women, but we work with clients every day who have trouble. Their trouble spot is on their hips, kind of that saddlebag area. And ladies, I'm sure I'm getting an amen right now from some of you, but that's your trouble area, is that saddlebag spot. And you go to the gym, you go for a run, you do a kickboxing class, you go to spin class, you do all these different things, and yet you can't make you're not making any gains in that saddlebag area. Now, I will propose it's due to lack of hip function. I believe as the hip shuts down, if it's not moving properly, your lymph that runs through the lymphatic system, all the garbage that your body's trying to pump out and evacuate, gets trapped and it gets storehoused there. Because there's essentially a pump in the hip, and if the pump's not pumping, everything's getting backed up. So as we've shut down hip function, the hip's no longer, the ball's no longer moving in the socket. As we've shut that down, we've also shut down your lymphatic system. I personally believe, as I was being observational in London, I believe that because of the amount that people are walking, because of the amount they're going up and down stairs, and because of the rides on the train where they're having to stand and stabilize and hold on to a bar or a strap or something to keep from falling over, their hip function has improved and has become better than you and I, who, by and large, we're going to get in our car, we're going to drive to work, we're going to sit at work, we're going to drive home, we're going to sit on the couch, and we're going to do the whole thing over again tomorrow and the next day and the next. So I think our hip function has a lot to do with, or the active lifestyle has a lot to do and is directly correlated to hip function, which then, as a result, is directly tied to lymphatic function and the ability of the lymph system to drain and pump things out or not. So it was an interesting observation. Not a lot of obese people in London. some very active people in London, and as a result, some pretty in shape people in London compared to the U.S. So just kind of some food for thought. I wanted to encourage you guys to get your hips moving and functioning in a little bit different way than they normally do. So if you're going to the gym and you're used to getting on the treadmill or getting on the elliptical or the recumbent bike, something where the hip isn't getting into full extension throughout your workout. I think hip extension is the key to proper lymphatic system function. If the hip's not getting into extension, you're shutting that down. Hip flexion is by and large it's bad for us long term. It's not good. So we got to remember that the hip is designed to move in a lot of different ways, and as a result, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a workout, some highlights of a workout that I did today at the gym that you can do as well. No equipment except your own body. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse into what my day at the gym or my morning at the gym looks like. I'll do this workout or a version of this workout coming up anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe 4 times a week. So whole thing took me about 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. I was completely gassed, completely exhausted. Heart rate was up. I was breathing heavy, and I was working muscles in ways that I don't when I just go and lift weights. So here it is. Here's my workout. Feel free to comment, ask questions, and try the workout on your own. Remember, this workout's only going to take what your body's capable of giving. So, trust your instincts. If you feel like something's too hard, feel free to modify it. If you need to work out less for a shorter time, or if you want to do fewer reps, by all means, go right ahead. Trust your instincts. So let's get the hips moving in a different way. Let's get that lymphatic system moving, and get that lymph out of your body. And my gut instinct is in about a week or 2, if we're doing this workout every day, your clothes are going to start to fit a little bit different. So that's my 2 cents, my observations from London. I hope you guys are having a great week, and you will hear from us very soon.